Greetings! I'm Rodger Newbold, and I'm the host for the Experience Photography's video number 81. Mr. Matt Rich, my friend and our highly acclaimed photographer, he is from the balmy land of St. George, Utah, and he is our editor-in-chief for this episode. My friend, we desperately need to hear some cheery news today. So what do you have for us?
I don't know about cheery news, Rodger, but this'll make you laugh.
All right. Well, folks, grab a drink, kick back, and let's go. In our last episode, we suggested that we all could search for the point of greatest possibilities and add more passionate emotional response into our images. So here is a point of greatest possibilities. We offered that this would be helpful for each of us to create an image that are more compositionally complete and immediately more readable. Today, we endeavor to stretch, a little bit more. We all have scars from past life events. These scars may be physical and obvious to others who see them. But they may also be mental or emotional, and they are usually carefully concealed from first view. Nonetheless, most of us have a blemish or two, and it is inflicted on our character. Whether you choose to acknowledge these or not, that's your prerogative. However, I want you to think of an event from your life when the event somehow marred you and left you imperfect in some fashion. Go ahead, think of that. I'll wait. So many feel that these events are hurtful, disgraceful, or have somehow left you irreparably flawed, so that your persona or your opinion in life is of little worth. You would be completely wrong to think such. None of us on this earth are flawless. No object on this earth, regardless of its apparent beauty, is flawless. It is not a liability or burden to be mourned. It is just a fact of life. It is also well known that the existence in every form is difficult and punishing in one or many other manners. Unfortunately, the lessons, they come prior to us cultivating wisdom. In our recent readings, we ascertained that our entire existence is touched by or inscribed with imperfection and impermanence. Perhaps we could be more mindful of the concept of, wabi-sabi, that in our lifespan. Wabi represents rustic simplicity, or perhaps freshness, quietness, and the appreciation of living humbly and simply. Now, sabi refers to the beauty or the serenity that comes with age and where the visible deteriorates in all objects. Now, we may suppose that instead of hiding our cracks and our age and our flaws, that we could learn to embrace the aesthetic of natural decay and transience. Now, this applies to us as individuals and also to the subject matter that we photograph. As the Japanese honor this fractured and now imperfect cup by replacing it or repairing it with gold lacquer, they esteem the very significance and the history of the cup. Take a look. Yeah, the lacquer is not meant to hide the repair. It presents the opposite. It is a repair, and it's just that. It's an honorable endeavor to appreciate the continued and lasting attractiveness of the object. This history reveals a story of effort, usefulness, and gratitude for its life, its continued presence. It becomes humbly respected because it may have been used and revered, well, by several generations. We find great peace from this attitude, whereby we as photographers may have earned value in our seeing and our subject selection. Our opinions are regarded as significantly valuable in every concern when expressed with a fine craftsmanship. Our subjects retain significance in their matchless, one-of-a-kind attractiveness. It's cheerless to see viewers disregard a rather well-made photograph as inadequately completed simply because the subject matter didn't agree with their preconceptions or their particular appetites. The word pathos, pity or sadness, come to mind. Obviously, the photographer found some intrinsic value within the subject matter. They found a brief humor, a beauty, or a fleeting moment of importance in their decision to commit that particular subject into a picture. Well, this herein promotes another Japanese concept known as mono no awari. This philosophical concept highlights the bittersweet assets of feeling moments. It may suggest the longing for or the acknowledgement of all things of poignant beauty, and it will pass on. It may allude to temporary fad or an ephemeral fashion or some momentary craze, but it was noteworthy to the photographer in that twinkling of time. Take a look at this. Well, there's a face on a tree, or maybe a pirate tree. Being mindful of the aesthetic of mono no awari allows the quickness of both the photographer and the photograph to shine forth without dishonor. Cherish things found without hesitation. There is no humiliation in being perceptive. Even the poem by Robert Frost, Nothing Gold Can Stay, reinforces the same idea that ephemeral nature of beauty in all instances are fleeting. Now, if you make an image off the cuff and it features a blur or intentional camera movement or some other unusual feature embraced by the momentary delight, the dominant sensation is in the capturing what is passing in front of your eyes and the deep comprehension that you were a witness of such. After a sorrowful incident encountered some time ago now, it reinforces the sage advice to always have a camera with you. Well, we got a brief and really a badly needed rainstorm. It popped up, it softened the light. It really followed by adding a romantic feel. Now, this momentary sight initiated the need to be captured of the prospect that was there. Now, regrettably, I didn't have my trusty camera. Mercifully, and as a last resort, I used my cell phone. That camera was employed to arrest the scene. Take a look, the rain. Cherishing that fleeting moment, Mono no Owari was right at its deepest level. Nevertheless, we believe, with a real camera, the outcome would have been, well, maybe more favorable. Spring to it, my friends. Release yourself. Capture whimsy whenever and wherever possible. Keep your eyes open. The umbrella in the rain captured by the cell phone. It just knocked me out. It was there. Grab it. Much of what has been discussed here so far has been, well, in the beginnings of Zen Buddhism. Now, I am not expecting any of you to relinquish any of your foundational beliefs, only to seriously consider how these ideas may expand your photographic abilities. We can appreciate how Mono no Owari encourages us to become more open to different subject matter and receptive to additional methods of making images. Expansion doesn't mean to forego old habits or forego old paths. It suggests that adding new abilities, new insights, and new techniques to our repertoire. It's respected growth. Here's a grab shot of a passing car. Cultivating new methods reminds us of good jazz music. A riff is played, it's then echoed broadly and modified throughout the piece. It seems to really grow from within itself. It is noticeably evident that as a musician matures, they begin to play fewer notes and they interpret new ways. They still use their existing tools, but more imaginatively. Here's an echoed grab shot. And here's another grab shot. Speaking of reinterpreting meaningful riff, you remember that old Jackson Browne song from 2022? It's called Doctor My Eyes. That comes to mind. He says, Doctor My eyes have seen the years and the slow parade of fears. Now I want to understand, have I done all that I could? Then it continues on. Doctor My eyes, tell me what's wrong. Was I unwise to leave them open for so long? Now, I couldn't begin to tell you what Browne was dealing with when he wrote it, but photographically it smacks me. So many wonder, am I doing something of value? Am I spinning my wheels? They wonder, what What's next? What can I do that has not yet been done? We question our value all of the time. Well, we're here to tell you, you don't have to be perfect, and you don't owe anyone an explanation for what you see, or how you see it, or how you photograph it. Just keep showing up, making images, and moving on. Now, I'll tell you, you haven't kept your eyes open too long. We study because society expects it. We work because everyone requires it. Are we living somebody else's life? You know, this causes us to ponder over another Japanese concept known as ikigai. This principle is about what is the meaning of life, or what is your purpose in life? Naturally, we all held employment, we all shouldered responsibility, we all strive to live. Still, this does not define what we must be deep within our soul. The fulfillment comes from not seeking only personal satisfaction or sensibly practiced necessities. Life is where all of this naturally intersects. The ancient monk Dogen in 1253 taught us to study the way, to study yourself. That embodies ikigai. Photographically, how do you study yourself? Are not the pictures a reflection of who we are and what we are? Have you ever really attempted to explain to another what you meant to show in a particular image? I see pictures all the time, and I wonder, what were they thinking? Do your photographs show you that you are zealous, fastidious, meticulous in and about your presentation? Or do your pictures express, crap, I was barely here, but I saw something, I clicked the shutter, and I don't care? All too often we see pictures that only reveal a confused, wandering attention span. That reflection will be readily apparent. If you're still out of tune with what I'm trying to express, let's look at some images from photographers that are replete with ikigai, or at least they have an understanding of what they do and why they do it. Here's a picture by Dick Ahrens. Now he's preserving the landscape, and he preserves this in a very preserved old art form of platinum printing. Here's another shot by Michael Kenna, preserving the historical construction through photography. Now, the very recently deceased Dwayne Michaels, he preserves a story in telling through multiple image photography. When I met Dwayne, I was fascinated by the man. And I think his way of seeing and telling stories is another great way that we often overlook. Multiple images. Now, Ron Willauer, I curated a show that he produced, and we did it at the Salt Lake Art Center. He preserved his history and his lifestyle through photography. Now, each of these photographers ultimately made images with a greater purpose, and that's all I'm asking you to do. No, they probably didn't understand why or how when they began, But that developed, practiced, and repeating doing brought more to them. However, they eventually made images that were concise and well constructed as a haiku, each in their own way, providing meaning and purpose to their existence. Now, I really hope the point becomes evident that what you do can become more than casual snapshots. With intentional, sympathetic expression and expansion, photography can boost your happiness and it can give you purpose to your being. Gordon Parks said, "And now, I feel at 85, I really feel that I'm just ready to start." I have to echo what he suggested. Eventually, you can detect that mysterious magnetism in all things and really attain that level of ikigai. I am so happy with images that I am making now at 77. Things are getting better. I see things in new ways. I am not opposed to making photographs of anything that catches my fancy, anything that moves by. Within your life and your work, it will expand peacefulness when you begin to believe. In order to make images with purpose and power, focus on the things that you love, that you see that are there. Then build upon those strengths. Master the art of empathy and patience so that you may choose and achieve expectations in tiny miracles. Photography, when approached in this spirit, becomes less about capturing spectacle and more about noticing. Attuning to the light, to the form, to the quiet resonance of ordinary moments. It is a most refined practice. Photography becomes an act of awareness rather than mere documentation, where timing and perception and restraint help shape our images. My friends, our time has elapsed today. Thanks for hanging in there with us, especially as this questionable world proceeds to whirl. Subscribe, ring that bell, give us a giant thumbs up. If you like this adventure, please add your comments and let us know what you thought. Tell us what you need. Today, our recognition goes to Dr. Hiroshi Kamaya for helping me with the proper pronunciation, which I hope was managed well enough. We endeavor to offer suggestions that will help you expand your creative choices wisely. We hope that you find tremendous success in all of your accomplishments. In parting, remember the best antidote for worry is work. Matt and I salute you. Thank you for watching. Thanks for helping us build value into our channel. So until we meet here again, a tip of my hat to you, my friends, and cheerio.